Hi again guys, I'm going to do a video of how I curl my hair with curling tongs. So these are the only ones I have at the minute, and they're not super great because the ends of your hair end up a bit like twisted because of this. I'm going to try a sort of a new technique that I knew about but haven't really used before. So we will see how that goes and I will show you the finished results. So I'm going to start off by parting my hair. I am going to do a side part. While my curlers heat up, I do mine at 200. I would do it at the lowest you can get a decent result from. My hair holds a curl really well but needs quite a high temperature. So that's like enough of a part. You can see my weird gingery roots. So yeah, while that's heating up, I'm gonna separate my hair. You don't need to be super precise. I think that is enough of a layer. You'll need a couple of bits, but it's pretty simple. I've got some hair bubbles. A lot of people find their hair is sort of thin enough you can just do it in one layer, in which case I envy you. But the main thing you need is a good heat protectant. I think this one was about £14, so it's not super cheap. So I'm going to shake it up because it is like a separate-y one. Not really sure why, and fully saturate my hair. Now I brushed out my hair pretty fully before the video. Probably will brush it a few times in the video, but make sure it's brushed through. Like I said, super saturated. And then if it's a bit on the wet side, or just you're worried it's tangled, brush it through again. Brushing will make it less wet. So I think I'm just gonna do all away from my face curls because I'm feeling a bit lazy. I don't really want to do alternating. So alternating is good to add volume or texture or just like a little bit more, but obviously you've got to kind of remember. So I've curled it around the outside, and I will do the end last because it needs the least amount of curling. Got a little curl. I'm sure you can already sort of work out how long this is going to take. So I'm kind of keeping it flat and then twisting it more towards the end. That's just kind of my preference. You will not be getting sort of like beachy waves, which I know is the popular hair curling, but you can do that easier with other tools, and it's kind of hard. So you can see the sort of amount of time I'm leaving it on there for. You may need less time or more time, just experiment. And try and leave curls as alone as you can when they do come off the curling iron. As for section size, that is entirely up to you. I sort of just experimented with the biggest section I could get away with doing before my hair is too thick and there is too much. So just kind of work that out. It will be trial and error, mainly. Do obviously make sure your hair is not wet before using heat tools. That is bad. I'm going to try and just do the end since it fell before I could. Because I don't want to pull out the rest of the curl. That'll do. See, that'll blend in. It's probably fine. I probably shouldn't do curls so tight, but that's kind of the look I like. So I'm gonna let these just cool for a second. And what I'm gonna do is I have some hairspray. It's extra firm. I would not recommend using extra firm for this. Just a light coat. God, I look quite southern. Yeehaw. So what I'm gonna do next is lose my part apparently. And then just do this side. So holding it all up so you don't spray the underneath is quite important. So this is still too thick, so I'm going to take the top section and pin it and just do the lower section. I cannot overstate the importance of heat protectant, and at the very least decent, if not good, heat protectant. I think I had like a VO5 or a Tresemme one before that, and it worked well. It's not really about how it works, it's just, it will make your hair very sticky. So trying to keep it at the angle I'm doing my hair as opposed to like that, which is kind of what my arm wants to do. Not super happy with that one. So I definitely curl my hair more when it's shorter, because once it gets to this length it is a bit of a ball ache. As you can see from this method, I'm not losing a whole lot of length as well, which is nice. So I was talking to Chloe about the other hairstyle I could do, which is more of like a smooth wave blowout hairstyle, which I do really like the look of, because it's kind of effortless and looks very glam. And it's pretty much the same thing, you know, you want to go in all the same direction. You kind of want to get quite close to the root, and what you want to do is, while it's still hot, you want to roll it up like a pin curl and pin it in place. So you want to get bobby pins are okay, but you want the flat silver clips. I think I used them in my other video, the little ones ideally, and then you use the flat side of that on a flat bit of the curl, and you pin that up, and then you leave that to completely cool. So you hairspray it, and then you pin it up. You hairspray it once it's pinned up, and then leave that to completely cool. If you're in a rush, you can use the cool setting on a hairdryer, but I'd put a scarf on first, just to protect the hair and stop it being blown about. And a great way to brush that out is a boar bristle brush. I don't have one, but my sister used to, so that's a great way for that, because you get it super shiny, which is what you want in kind of like a blowout-esque style. So if anyone knows how to do a blowout on yourself, that is something I absolutely fucking cannot do, and I love how it looks. So that's how I cheat a blowout, which is like my favourite thing about going to the hairdressers. I look a little bit like Cinderella in the Lily James movie. That's what this hairstyle is giving me vibes of. So I have a one of my combs with the tail, but that's because I do a lot of separating of my hair, because as you can tell, there's a lot of it. If you have a normal amount of hair, it will not take this long. Hi! There's a little baby down here, poking his head up. It's very cute. He sat with his bum to my knee so he can be in contact with me. Very cute. I left that curling for a bit longer because it was a little bigger, and I'm going to do the same with this one. I didn't really want to split it up into 3 curls, because I feel like this side I'm doing now is a bit more, the curls are a bit smaller, I think you can see, so I'm trying to break that up. So much hair. because these curls are so on top of my head, I am allowing them a bit of angle. That makes sense. Because they are not going straight down like the others. Touching this one up a little bit. I'm not going to spray that later, it was only a couple. The ends on the top are real trash. I really need a haircut. Sometimes you miss bits and you have to go back and curl like singular strands. Don't do that for too long. They will be very curled. So now I have to curl my fringe because you can't really have like an uncurled fringe, unfortunately. I never know what to do with my fringe. It never wants to behave. I did have other hair clips. Apparently I don't anymore. I'm just gonna do something very ill-advised and smooth down the bits that piss me off and did not want to be part of the other bit. Don't do that. So just very quickly curling flyaways that I have very definitive edge pieces. Sometimes I gel them. You probably don't have quite so much edge on your hair. I'm going to unplug my curlers because they do not cool down while plugged in. And I'm going to let my hair completely cool before doing anything to it. I would recommend doing that because it makes them last a lot longer. So this side is obviously completely cool. Curls are pretty, I like this one. You can pick apart the curls with your hands. I don't really do that because I'm going to obliterate it with a brush. Right, I'm satisfied that is all cooled down. I wasn't really gone for very long. No. The key is brush more than you think. It will look quite scary, like, oh god, where are my curls gone? I promise you. The worst is if you don't brush enough and then you leave the house and they kind of curl back up would be the best way. They kind of separate out and it doesn't look like you've brushed it enough. Probably pin it you kind of want to add a little to the root, so you can add root powder or dry shampoo to add a bit more volume, but yeah, that is about the finished look. This is a terrible angle, I look much better in the mirror, but I will take some selfies